Hey guys, it's Anthony from AMH Audio Productions. It's been a long time since I've made a video, probably a couple years in fact. Well, I did post a video of me jamming, but that really doesn't count. But I wanted to start getting back into YouTube, and I want to start kind of basic, so I'm not too worried about lights and stuff. I'm just going to record this and kind of go with it. But basically, I want to talk about a subject hopefully people can kind of learn a little bit from and maybe help them out in the long run. But basically, I want to talk about being professional on your social media platforms as a up and coming, like underground, local band, whatever. Basically, most of this is going to relate to how bands talk about politics and religion on their band pages. I'm going to kind of just talk about a couple stories here and tell you how that affects you. It affects you greatly, actually. So, let's get a couple things out of the way. Obviously, if you're a joke band, this isn't really going to necessarily apply to you. I've seen joke bands post crazy things, and if you're a joke band, there's a lot more leniency on this. And if you're a band that has religion involved in your music, like a Christian band, obviously religion is a huge thing, and you're going to be discussing it and talking about it on your band page, or at least mention it. And there's some bands who use politics in the lyrics of their music, like country music. That's a good example, I guess. And so you'll be involving that stuff in there, and it's understandable. You're going to be discussing. Now, there's also a difference between discussing and just kind of being crazy with it, I guess you could say. And that's kind of where I'm going with things. So, I've seen some local bands, they don't all do this, but there's a couple that have done this, bands, musicians, whatever, who have kind of gone crazy with politics and religion. And I've seen it happen over the years, and it can drastically affect you. And you might think, oh, no, it doesn't. I'm allowed to share my opinion. You're allowed to share your opinion. That's perfectly okay. And if you do it on your personal page, that's okay. I'm probably not going to visit your personal page and bash you for your opinions on religion and politics. I'm probably not going to bash you for your opinions, period. That's not the kind of guy I am. But there are some bands and musicians who decide to get on their band pages, rant about politics and religion and maybe other subjects that they probably shouldn't be discussing on the band page. Band pages overall for the music. I mean, that's mainly what people are there for. And if your music does incorporate those subjects, tread lightly. Tread lightly. You shouldn't be going crazy about it. So, I'll give you the first story I'm going to tell. I'm going to go ahead and just tell these stories to get them out of the way to kind of give you an example of how bad this can be. So, I went to a show one time at a local venue here, and I'm going to ignore saying names, to places and people because it doesn't really matter, and I don't feel like it's a good thing to. I don't know. I don't feel right saying names. It's again not who I am. I don't like doing that. So I saw this band perform. They're pretty good. I liked them, and I ended up talking to them a little bit afterwards. They seemed like okay people. I wouldn't say they were the best of people. I'd say they seemed okay. I didn't really get to know them really personally, but I got to know them musically. They seemed okay. They seemed to know, for the most part, what they were doing. Well, I ended up liking their Facebook page. I didn't scroll through all their posts to see what they had been posting. I probably should have, because then I probably would not have liked the band page. But basically, they kept posting about politics. And you might think, well, maybe their music involves politics, Anthony. Did not. It did not one bit involve politics. They played a whole bunch of classic covers, and most of these covers had nothing to do with anything they were spouting off about in their statuses. When I first liked the band page, it had probably about 1,000 likes on it. And this is Facebook. I use Facebook for the most part over Twitter and Instagram, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. But they had about 1,000 likes, and I remember seeing them. I'm like, hey, that's pretty good for an up-and-coming local band. That's pretty nice. Well, they ended up just spouting off more and more and more about politics, and I kept seeing this, and I'm like, I'm not really liking it. It's kind of making me feel uneasy. And clearly it made other people feel uneasy because they ended up like losing a lot of fans over this. I know some of you might say, well, just because someone didn't like the page doesn't mean they're not a fan of the music. You're right. They probably still like the music they make. I mean, they're a cover band. They're probably still going to go listen to them because these guys play at a lot of local places near here. And it's not hard, at least in my area, to get a gig as a local band because that's a majority of what the venues get around here are just local bands. So it's not going to be tough for these guys to get a gig. But people did feel uneasy. People did feel comfortable. And when people don't like your band page, it's hard for them to see what you're doing as a band unless they physically type in your name and look it up. And you might say, well, if I pay for an ad, they might still see it. Maybe, maybe not. There's been plenty of ads I see on Facebook where I actually go into my settings and choose not to see the ad again. And they can do that for your band page. They can choose to not see anything from your band page again. And they might have done that. So even if you shared your music, you're sharing a show that's coming up, merch maybe, they're not going to see any of that. And that's going to directly affect you and your income. It's not a good thing to do that. Now, these guys are getting by with it though. I do occasionally check on them, mainly because I kind of want to see what kind of shenanigans they're doing on the band page. I know it's kind of weird, but it's kind of funny. But they aren't as bad with the politics anymore. I think they kind of learned their lesson. And they're still gigging, they're still doing stuff. So, congrats to them. I hope they did learn their lesson. But I'm not going to hold my breath. So, the next story is a little bit more cringy, I guess you could say. So, the next story involves religion. Now, I don't like discussing religion. At all. No, I don't like discussing politics, but I like discussing religion even less. So, there's a guy I met on a buy, sell, and trade page on Facebook. And apparently he makes music. He added me on Facebook for some reason. I didn't actually talk to him. It was just we both commented on a post. And he sent me a link to his music tutorials and stuff like that. Like he tried to teach music, which I was like, alright, that's cool. I mean, I think it's weird that you added me just to send me a link. I don't really like that. I think that's kind of weird. But whatever, that's not a big deal. I can get by that. And I did end up checking out his site. As far as price-wise goes, I didn't think it was fair, but that's whatever again. But then I started going to his actual music page on Facebook, and oh boy, this was juicy. Basically, he, if you didn't believe in the good word of God, he basically thought you should die. Yeah. It was really weird. It was really uncomfortable, especially for me. And it'd be different, like I said, there are Christian bands out there. You can talk about religion, you can discuss it, you can talk about the good word, good Lord, good word, all you want. But this guy was basically saying, if you don't believe what I believe, I hope you die. That's basically what it was. And it was fucking uncomfortable. The guy didn't have a ton of fans either. The majority of his fans were just like crazy people like him. And the weird part about this is, I wouldn't have known about this until I went to his band page. He could have, I'm not condoning what he said at all. None. But he could have at least kept it on his personal page and not involved that in his music. I don't know why he decided that was a good idea, considering his music didn't really relate to God. No, it was just kind of generic music. And then he was a teacher too, so that affects two things for him, two sources of income that affected him directly. And like I said, there weren't a lot of fans of his. There were a lot of people who actually didn't like him. And I even talked about this situation to a couple other people. And I did bring up his name at the time. I'm not doing it right now, but it was during a discussion with some friends of mine. And apparently he did the same thing to them. And of course, they didn't want to be involved with it. It made them feel just as uncomfortable. But anyway. The basic point of this is try your best to keep it professional on your band pages. I feel it's a better idea to do that rather than going crazy with that stuff. Um, and it just ends up making you look cringy, I guess. But I don't want to drag this on any longer than I need to. You guys got the basic point of this. Hopefully it helped you. Maybe it didn't. I did kind of just ramble on a little bit. But anyway, I do have a Facebook, and like I said, I have Twitter and Instagram. I don't use it too much. I'll probably link them in the description of this video. But I'll see you guys later.